Hi everybody, there's no time like the present to be brushing up on your cooking skills. So I wanted to give you a couple good egg recipes. One is just your basic scrambled egg. I always start with about 2 eggs per person whenever I'm entertaining. So you want to take your eggs and crack them. This is a nice easy recipe because it only takes 2 ingredients, and that's eggs and butter. Wash my hands off. And the first thing I do once my eggs are cracked and in my bowl is I'm going to poke my yolks. This is going to make combining the eggs and the yolks a lot easier. And then I'm going to take a silicone whisk because this is what I'm going to be cooking with as well. And I'm just going to whisk away. I'm going to make sure I'm beating air into them and not just stirring. So I'm actually kind of lifting up my whisk. This is going to make for a fluffier, nicer egg. You're done whisking whenever you can't see the difference between the white and the yolk. Everything's nice and combined. Once you've cracked your eggs and whisked them together, you want to take about a tablespoon of salted butter and melt it over a pan that's at about a medium heat. You don't want your pan to be too hot, so about a medium or a 4. Once your butter's melted, you want to add your eggs. And if you noticed, I added my eggs, but I didn't hear any type of sizzle or noise coming from my pan. That's because my pan's not super screaming hot. And as soon as it's in, I want to just start stirring. Now you'll notice I'm using a silicone whisk because I'm using a highly coated non-stick pan. This is important whenever you don't want to scratch up your good pans. Now you should have one pan that's just designated for eggs. That makes things a lot simpler. But just keep stirring. This is going to cause for a really creamy egg. Because remember, all we've added so far is butter. There's no milk or cream. A lot of people, there's probably about 1,000 different ways to cook eggs. But I know some people add heavy cream or half and half. My husband just adds milk. I know some people even use cream cheese, which is great. And we haven't even seasoned our eggs yet either. I think it's important to season your eggs at the end rather than in the cooking process. So you want to just keep stirring until your eggs come together, and they're just going to be a nice fluffy yellow once they're done. And remember to take care of all the sides and everything. You know, as I stir these eggs, I'm reminded of Easter's growing up. We used to go to my mom's cousins, and they would make an incredible Easter brunch for us. And the star of the show was always the eggs. In fact, we'd call them wet eggs because they were so rich and creamy and decadent. And we later found out they were made similar to this, but just before they're done, they would take about half a cup of heavy cream or half and half and put them over the egg, stir them in, and take them off the heat. And that way those eggs soak up all that rich creaminess. They were so good. That would be a great addition to your Easter morning. This is probably the point where you would add your half and half, or to make it even more rich and creamy, like a heavy whipping cream would be really, really good. But look how rich and creamy these are already, and all it took was some butter, and that's it. So at this point, I'd say they're done. I don't want them to be any more drier. They're right in between a wet scramble and a dry scramble, I think. And these are perfect for me, and they're at the point where my kids are going to eat them too. My kids won't eat too wet of an egg. So I do have a nearby, I have a salt and pepper bowl that I always have on hand. This is a really coarse kosher salt and a pepper that I have like pre-mixed. My family probably use a lot more pepper than that, but I think that's just about good. Give them a nice stir again, and I'd say we're done. Ask any chef and they'll tell you that technique is everything in culinary. I'd say this is a bona fide great technique to make your scrambled eggs. Enjoy. My mom used to always make a breakfast casserole on holidays, especially Christmas. She'd put it together the night before, let it sit overnight, and then pop it in the oven while we were opening gifts. The following is a really easy recipe that you guys can make too, maybe for this Easter. So this is my mom's original recipe. I had to change it up a little bit just because of what I had in my fridge and pantry. Obviously, I used eggs. I also used whole milk. I had some bread going stale, so that was perfect. I used 4 slices of Italian bread, hash browns that I had from my freezer, and I used shredded cheddar. You can use any cheese. And you can also add meat, so you can use bacon. Chopped ham would be great for Easter. I used a ground Italian sausage, and I added some peppers and onions. Peppers and onions go so well with Italian sausage, so I was glad I had those in hand. But think about your Easter breakfast, maybe doing some asparagus with like a Gruyere cheese and chopped ham. That would be really delicious. So once my veggies were soft and Italian sausage was browned, I started on my eggs. Once my eggs were all combined, I started cubing some bread that I had in my pantry. And like I said, this is perfect for bread that's on its last leg. Any bread will work fine, and remember, this is really what's going to sop up all of your egg and milk. So after I did my bread, I combined everything. I had my eggs, my milk, my shredded cheese, my Italian sausage and my peppers, and my hash browns. And I just combined everything really well so it was all evenly incorporated. Once combined, I put everything in a 9x13 buttered casserole dish. I covered it with foil, let it sit overnight, and then I popped it in the oven in the morning for about 35-40 minutes at a 350 degree temperature on my oven. I hope you enjoy this recipe as much as we did growing up. Whether it's this or just a takeout pizza, gather your family around the table and bring back family meals again.